The second P that we're going to look at is price. And a lot of people see price as like an operations thing. Okay, well, how much did it cost to make it? And then we're going to work it out from there. But price is really in the marketing section because it's part of your marketing, it's part of your 4Ps. It's very, very important because your price sends a signal in a lot of different ways, and a lot of ways that you may not have even thought of. Now, when it comes to categorizing the different ways that you can price products, the Board of Studies has picked two words. One is methods and one is strategies. So we're going to look at pricing methods and we're going to look at pricing strategies. And I know methods and strategies are basically the same word, but if you're asked a short answer question and you're asked for methods and you give strategy, it's going to be wrong. Right? So you need to find whatever way you can to remember that these are the methods, and then we're going to look at the strategies in a little bit. So the methods are kind of the overall way of looking at pricing, the overall approach, the basic framework. How do we look at pricing as a business, right? So not just, okay, right now this particular product has this particular price because we're using it as a strategy. It's, all right, how do we look at pricing? How do we approach it? So we've got three different pricing methods, three different ways that a business can decide, okay, this is how we're going to approach pricing. First one is the cost-based method. The second one is a competition-based method. And the third one is a market-based method. Now, the good thing about that is they all have based at the end. So you just need to remember cost, competition, market. Now, when would you use the first pricing method? We're going to look at what it is, and then we're going to look at when you use this type of method. Right? So the first one, the cost-based method, is that it's based on the cost of production, like the cost of physically producing the product, plus a markup. Now, the markup is a percentage. So a percentage on top of the cost of production. So a 20% markup, 20% on top of the cost of production. Now that makes it really, really straightforward. And you want to use this when you want to keep pricing simple. If you don't want to go through a lot of the trouble of competition-based or market-based, supply and demand and all that. If you just want to go, you know what, it cost us, $10 to make it. We're going to sell it for $12 or we're going to sell it for $15 or whatever, because we're going to use 20% markup, 50% markup, whatever. So you use it when you want to keep pricing simple. A competition-based pricing method is basing your price on the competitor's prices, but that doesn't mean matching the competitor's price. It might be higher or lower, or it could be exactly the same, right? It could be equal, but you're basing it on their price. So you can see that basing it doesn't necessarily mean making it the same. It could be higher or lower or equal. You want to use it when your products are very similar to the competitors, because you don't want to go, okay, well, ours is very similar, but ours is a little bit better, so we're going to go a little higher, or we're going to go a little bit lower, or we're going to go, okay, it's exactly the same as the competitors, so we're going to make it equal. If people are looking at it like, oh, it's basically the same thing, why would I pay extra? A market-based pricing method is based on demand and supply, regardless of what the costs are, and you want to use that when you need to be flexible, when you're going to be customer oriented. So if you think of, like fruit and vegetables and things like that, a lot of that is based on, demand and supply, because you really need to be flexible because things change very, very quickly. Now, pricing strategies are the specific techniques with filling in the details. So you got the overall framework from the methods, but then you're filling in the details when it comes to the strategies. Now here we've got 4 pricing strategies. We've got skimming, loss leaders, price points, and my favorite, penetration pricing. So skimming, loss leaders, price points, penetration. Skimming is when you use high prices and maximize your profits. Now, how does this seem like a good idea? Well, you can do it at the introductory stage to take advantage of some of those early adopters. So, when they bring out like a new tech product, you will see that it's very, very highly priced, but people go, oh, well, the nerds are going to buy it, so they're going to do it. The loss leader strategy is when you set the price below the cost to attract customers. Now, the problem with it is that you can't afford to do it for too long because you're making a loss, right, for each one. So some of the places taking on Apple when it comes to tablets, like the Amazon, one of their Kindles, their Kindle Fire, was actually priced below cost because they want to get you on the content. So a lot of they're trying to attract customers, they're trying to get market share. The other problem is that it might damage a product image. So you might have such low prices, and then people look at it and go, oh, well, it must be rubbish then. right? So that becomes an issue as well. So you don't really want to damage your product image. You want to let people know that, all right, yeah, you're getting a bargain here because of below cost price. Price points is when you have set levels to reflect certain ideas. And this is good for when you want to sell a product, one of your products, to everyone, like all the different iPod styles. You want to be able to have different levels for different people. It's like, okay, you got an iPod, well, I've got an iPod Shuffle, or no, I've got an iPod Touch, I got the highest one. But everyone can, afford one. You can also use it as a signal to customers. Our new shirts are $49.95, and our old shirts $29.95, or you might want to do it like Video Easy or Blockbuster, if there's any still around. They go, okay, our new releases are $7 something, and our weeklies are $4 or whatever. The last one, the penetration pricing, isn't what it sounds. It's nowhere near as fun. The below competition pricing, to grow your market share. So you want to penetrate the market. That's what you're trying to penetrate, the market, to grow your market share. And this is when there's you've got an oligopoly, you've got like a couple of large businesses, and you want to break into that market. You're not necessarily going to set it below cost, but you're going to set it below the competitors' prices because you want to grow your market share and then put it up later. When do you use this? Well, you use it when you're launching a product, or you're going to use it when you're having price wars with say Woolworths and Coles. The last thing that we have to look at in price is the interaction between price and quality. Now, it's not really an interaction it makes things happen. But there's a relationship there between price and quality. And the basic relationship is higher prices generally kind of equal to higher quality. So people see a high price and they go, oh, it has to be a higher quality. But that has a lot to do with the customer's expectations. They're going to set their expectations very high if you've got very high prices. So it's not always the best thing to do. But generally, you're going to set your price higher to reflect higher quality. It might mean that you've got better inputs, so better labor or better quality parts or better ingredients, whatever. It could be anything like that.